All right, guys, we're back with another wrestling video. Okay, today we're going to talk about how to shoot in for the legs. Okay, so if you didn't watch our previous video about the first shot we should learn, which is the duck under, I would highly recommend watching that one and then following it up with this one. Okay, so in the previous video, we kind of talked about the risk of shooting for takedowns. Okay, so the big issues I see with shooting in on the legs, for jiu-jitsu that is one, the risk of guillotines or front chokes. And then two, again, assuming most of us watching are probably hobbyists, is just the mechanics behind shooting. So if you're someone that didn't grow up wrestling, the level change, the whole penetration step where you drop to a knee, all that can be very hard to develop, and it just takes a lot of time, right? And especially if you're learning jiu-jitsu or you're trying to learn wrestling at a later on in life, those things they probably will never come second nature to you. Unfortunately, that's just the solid truth, right? But that doesn't mean there isn't ways we can go around or go about executing them. And today I'm going to show you guys those ways, okay? So when you think about level changing for the legs, we're usually talking either single leg or double leg, right? Those are the two main attacks. Now with single leg, just to categorize, for those of you, okay, single leg, you could either have a single leg with the head outside, okay? You have a single leg with the head inside, and then the double leg would be anything where I grab two legs here, okay? Now there's a lot of ways we can approach that, but for those of you watching, you want to learn what are the most effective ways, what are the safest, most energy efficient ways that I can shoot and that are easy or simple enough to learn right away, right? So the first one, let's start with a single leg. Okay, now just the simple way how we're gonna attack that single leg. Generally speaking, okay, when I shoot for takedowns, especially on a single leg, you wanna shoot head inside, okay? Now, there are ways that you can shoot head outside, but if you're gonna go head outside, that's where I would approach by using the duck under. So that's why if you guys didn't see the first one, please watch the first one, because a lot of times if we're in a same stance situation, the head outside single leg is the most accessible, but it's also the most dangerous because I'm exposing my neck. That's why the duck under is a great option to attack first, because the duck under, you can still attack the angle of a head outside single, okay? But you're turning the corner right away to prevent that threat. So head outside singles, dangerous unless you apply the duck under motion to them. So for example, if I want to shoot a head outside single, I'm building up that pressure, okay? I can shoot the head outside single. I just want to make sure I turn the corner just like a duck under here. So boom, I switch. So I'll show that again. Okay, I feel the pressure build up. I'm going to step, grab the knee, okay? And then rather than just staying right here, wrist, okay, I step my trail leg up right away. And then I turn the corner. So again, you could do that two different ways depending on the length of your partner, okay? So like if Nate's a lot longer than me and we lock up and he's far away, I might have to take a penetration step and then pull my trail leg in here and then turn the corner, okay? If we're around the same size or Nate's smaller than me, then I can take that switch step. So I feel Nate apply pressure, watch how I switch my feet and then shoot head outside. Again, that motion is just like the duck under. So that's why we recommended in the last video that be the first shot you learn, okay? Because it's the most accessible, okay? And it leads right to the back. So second one, let's talk about a single leg. Head inside single leg. This is where my head's on the inside versus the outside. Now there's two ways we can approach this. If Nate's in the same stance situation here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a snatch single, okay? So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach with my hands behind my partner's knee and I'm gonna take my head to the opposite hip, okay? So if I'm shooting with the right leg forward, I'm gonna lead with my left shoulder. So let's just say I clear Nate's hands out of the way. I clear his hands out of the way. I'm gonna take a penetration step just to reach the back of the knee, and I'm gonna pull my rear leg in as my head goes to the opposite hip here. Okay, now the key with single legs, especially when I teach students this, is how you grip the leg off of the shot. So the biggest mistake I see is we shoot this, okay, I see the back round, and I see the feet square like this, okay? This is the biggest thing I see when people are learning how to wrestle. And the problem with that, obviously, is the posture. But two, it starts with the position of the legs, okay? If my hips are square, this is all back. I'm holding Nate's leg with all my lower back right, and I'm not in an athletic position, okay? And notice how this is influencing my head to round in. Now Nate's gonna be able to stuff my head as easily, okay? When I take that step, okay, watch my trail leg as I come in, boom, here. Okay, I'm like staggered. Notice how his leg is almost resting on my leg. So I'm in like, I call it just being bladed. Okay, so versus square, I want to blade, and immediately you'll feel your legs carry the weight of your partner's leg. Versus this, you can feel it's already in your back. Very exhausting. Okay, especially if you see like matches where guys are holding onto that leg and they can't finish right away. Usually after that, one, they don't finish and they're exhausted because it takes a lot of energy. So just like a sprinter stance, if I was gonna sprint, that's your shot. Okay, no crazy level changes. I don't have to drop my knee to the floor. Clear the hands, knee pull, and level change. Here, grab. If he tries to pull his leg back, I can pull myself in. And notice I'm right here. Okay, another thing to note is the way that I grip. So whatever leg is on the outside, whatever hand is on the outside of the leg, I want that on the top of my hand. And you can either make a gable grip, pinch the elbows to the ribs as you shift your stance, or you guys can slide to the wrists. Okay, both of those are good grips. Okay? Now let's talk about if my opponent is in an opposite stance. So now Nate's standing lefty, I'm righty. Okay? Again, we're just gonna go snatch single, but because that front leg is mirroring me now, I can just step straight in. So if I clear the hands, this would be the easiest case scenario. I just take a penetration step outside and we end up in that single leg. So very simple here. Once again, my stance is bladed to where his leg is resting on my thigh. I have a gable grip with the rear hand on top, okay, or wrist grip, and then my elbows, look at my elbows, elbows to ribs here, keeping it nice and engaged. Okay, let's take a look this way. Notice how strong my stance is here. And you can have your partner, if you guys are drilling this, have your partner try to move your leg, and you should feel like this is pretty easy to hold, or it's a lot easier than if your legs were square here. Okay, so that's a single leg. Let's talk about a double leg. Now the double leg, I would say for jiu-jitsu, this is where I would only recommend putting your head in one spot, and that's cross body. So typically, like if you learn wrestling, like from a true like folk style wrestler, like high school wrestling, they're gonna teach you this, right? On a double leg, if I'm a right leg lead, I'm gonna lead with my right shoulder. I'm gonna drop to my knees, and I'm gonna step up. Again, big problem here is of course the neck. So the crossbody double is actually something you probably see more of in MMA. So if I'm a right leg lead, I'm actually gonna shoot my head to the opposite side here. So if I'm with Nate, again, I'm not gonna touch my knee here. If I'm able to clear the hands, I'm gonna take that penetration step. But again, I'm a right leg lead, so my left shoulder is gonna lead here. Okay, now notice how my trail leg came up just like the first knee pull single. Once again, I clear the hands, I step one, and then watch my trail leg as I reach for the knees, pull my trail leg in, two. Now take a look at the positioning here. Okay, when I shoot this, clear the hands, 1, 2. Notice how this knee is already behind my partner's hip, which makes for an easy finish right over my own hip. Now that's the only double leg I would recommend shooting for jiu-jitsu. Okay, again, you can make the other one work. Just understand that you're more at risk because of the head position and also the shot, the level change there, right? If I just go double leg from here, okay, My tendency, especially again, like I said, you didn't grow up wrestling, your tendency when you go same shoulder is to drop down like this. Okay, and the back's gonna round versus if I shoot cross body, because I'm running, I'm able to maintain my posture a lot more naturally here. Okay, and look at all that momentum to drive them over. Okay, so those are the big three. We have single leg head outside, single leg head inside, and then we have double leg. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you guys some basic finishes. Okay, so for the double leg, pretty simple, right? If I shoot this double leg, I clear the hands, I step. Okay, I step behind. I can just go with a nice knee slide and I finish across. So even if my opponent were to attack my neck on that side, let's just say Nate tried to attack my neck, even when I land, I'm already, my hips are on the opposite side, ready to defend that guillotine. So again, right, when you're setting this up, you can shoot from the open. I could either go from inside ties and then go, or I can do it from the open like we're trying to hand fight. I just clear the hands, boom. Slowly back you up. Okay, right through here. Okay, so that's the main finish for the double leg. Now, you can also use that. Let's just say you shoot, opponent sprawls this hip back. You can go to the body lock now. Start connecting that. If you guys want to see finishes on the body lock, go ahead, check out our video for the first takedown you should learn, the body lock system. Okay, now let's talk about the single leg. So I'll just go ahead and start right here. Now, with the single leg, main priority should be to get that leg up. So what I'm going to do, this is part of the reason why I want to be staggered, is I want to take this jab step, slide my bottom hand to the heel. So jab step, slide my bottom hand to the heel, and then pick that leg up. Okay? Biggest mistake I see here, when people go to pick up the leg, head rounds and they try to scoop like this, right? But Nate's leg is going to fall right down. Okay, so I want to take a jab step, slide my bottom hand to the heel, and then step out with good posture. So I'm here, jab step, slide my hand to the heel, pick it up, and then right away, make sure there's no gap here. My hips are underneath the leg, okay? Now, there's a lot of different finishes. We'll eventually post a video about all the single leg finishes, but the main one you guys should understand is how to elevate trip. So what I'm gonna do, I call it rocking the baby. I'm gonna rock and then trip. Here. Notice when I make that rocking motion, okay, his leg elevates, putting all the weight onto the base leg, and it's an easy trip. So once again, here, jab step, slide out, okay, like rock the baby, trip. Boom, now you guys can connect it to a leg drag, okay, or any pass you like. So that's a basic single leg finish. Once again, for the head outside single, go ahead and refer to our previous wrestling video about the duck under, and you guys can see a whole system of attacks for that position. All right, guys, that concludes our wrestling video for today about attacking the legs. As usual, please like and subscribe to support our channel. And if there's anything you guys want to see or anything we can do better, please let us know in the comments. Thank you, guys.